welcome to the opening round of the 2010 Hertz Mini Challenge delivered by Pizza Capers. We're here on the streets of Adelaide. It's one of the most iconic racing circuits in the country, and joining me is Jason Bargwanna. Jason, you know your way around this track very well. It's a whole other story for these Mini Challenge drivers.
Well, that's right, Bronnie. It's the first time Mini Challenge has been here on the streets of Adelaide, so some of these guys have never actually seen this circuit before. But what's exciting about it, it's the first of 5 street circuits for Mini Challenge this year. Should be interesting.
Yeah, heading the field is reigning champion Paul Stokel, back to defend his title, but some new faces thrown into the mix as well.
Look, we've got XV8 supercar drivers, we've got teenagers, we've got a 16-year-old out there, and keep your eye on Robbie Madison, he's back as well, so it should be quite interesting.
Absolutely. Well, before we get started, Aaron Noonan takes a look at this year's field.
All cars in the Mini Challenge are identical, so getting the best driver behind the wheel is imperative. Paul Stokel has the number 1 on his car because he's the reigning champion, but he's also the driver who's number 1 on everybody's list to beat.
I like street circuits, yeah, I love Adelaide. Like, this is one of my favourite circuits. I used to race here back in the late Grand Prix days when we used to race Formula Holden here, and the circuit was unbelievable in a fast car, and it's just as much fun in these. A bit bumpy, but that mate adds to the character. So, yeah, bring him on.
Chris Adelaide proved to be something of, well, a human highlight reel last year. Oh, Chris Adelaide! Oh, airborne backwards. Despite his setbacks, the Sydney-based racer finished second in the last year. This weekend, though, he's looking forward to testing himself against an experienced driver lineup.
I love the competition, and the more good guys and strong performers that come into the series, I'm more than happy to compete with. You know, that's what I'm up for, a challenge. So, you know, if you're out there and you want to compete, let's go. 2-time Fujitsu Series champion Dean Canto is here, hoping to turn his V8 experience into mini success, while ex-V8 supercar driver Dale Wood will ensure the category veterans are well and truly pushed to the limit. At the other end of the spectrum is 16-year-old Kiwi Scott McLaughlin. He's running in the Mini Challenge to get signatures from officials instead of drivers, so he can make his V8 supercar debut in the near future.
We got a good deal with Stone Brothers Racing, and they've seen how I've progressed up the ranks in go-karts and all that sort of stuff, and they were kind enough to offer me a drive. That's basically why I'm running these next 2 rounds of the Mini Challenge Series and doing a couple of Formula Ford races in Perth and Victoria. So it's a good way to learn tracks as well as get to the ranks of the V8 supercars.
And then there's this weekend's superstar car, with motorcycle stunt ace Robbie Madison behind the wheel. He wasn't afraid to give as good as he got at Phillip Island last year, and is back for more.
Mate, these cars handle like they're on rails. They're absolutely phenomenal, and once I got the groove and the hang of it, I struggled to kind of hang with those guys at the start of the practice, but by the last race, I was battling with the series leader, so it was pretty cool, and to pressure him into making a mistake was even sweeter.
Qualifying had barely begun when disaster struck. Queenslander Chris Wooten found out just how hard Turn 1 can bite.
You right? Yep.
Luckily, he walked away from the wreck, but his car was out for the weekend.
It's the first race of the weekend on the streets of Adelaide, and Chris Adelaide, the pole sitter, up against the reigning champ Paul Stokel. And look at Adelaide, Bucks, trying to creep across for turn 1.
He's trying to score. Oh, he's cut across the nose there. Oh. Sideways stuff. Look out. He's haven't mucked around over there. Straight into it, these guys. Push straight away from the start.
8-lap race for race 1, on board with Dale Wood. First time for Dale in the Mini Challenge. And look at this, Stokel wide. Adelaide made a small mistake, and Stokel looks for the switchback.
Oh, left, right, inside, outside. They're all over each other. Oh! Contact!
Adelaide and Stokel come to grief, and Dale Wood goes sailing on through to the lead.
There you go, Dale in his very first mini race. He's inherited the lead on the first lap, so he's having a cracker.
Back with Robbie Madison, of course. He's doubling up this weekend in the Mini and the Ute. He's forgetting half the time which car he's in.
Hold it flat, down the outside of Dean Canto. There's a good move straight away in lap 1.
Dean Canto starting down the back has had some problems with that car, missed opening practice. And now the moves begin. Look at turn 9. This is the place where the action happens.
Yeah, short counter down the inside. That was very close to back Stokel. So obviously late on the brakes. He's put a pressure on Adelaide in there. Now he's going to want to push forward and try to get on the back of Stokel.
Wood leads, Stokel second. Young Sean Carter now up to third. Adelaide back to fourth, the end of lap 1. Plenty of action to start the season.
So as they come around to finish the first... Oh, Alajage down the inside. He wants none of that, and he wants the spot back.
It didn't take long for Robbie Madison to make his presence felt.
He may have started down the back of the grid, but Robbie Madison putting the pressure here on the Kiwi Gavin Yort in the Squawking Magpie Mini. Oh, I can't look. Oh, it's not a Squawking Magpie, it's a spun Mini.
You can see that coming, couldn't you? So he's obviously had a look up the inside. Gavin's just turned across the front of him, and it's obviously... Oh, nearly again. That's close stuff.
Dale Wood was finding it hard to shake last year's champion.
Dale's going to be a lot of pressure here with Stokel, because Stokel knows how to get the most out of these cars. He knows what the tyres are like. Dale's obviously learning, and there goes Stokel down the inside. So now he's got to contest with Chris Alajage as well.
The battle for fourth was dominated by the young guns.
Well, this is really the Department of Youth of the Mini Challenge. Sean Carter off the curb, Scott McLaughlin's in the gap, and Peter McNiven's right behind.
Oh, Scott's made a good move up there. He's taken advantage of Sean's little mistake off the curb. Now there's a good battle going on here between these younger guys.
McLaughlin just 16 years of age.
Stokel began to open up a lead as Alajage and Wood fought it out for second place.
Stokel's been able just to get away. Now Alajage, the big dive bomb up the inside. These minis are awesome under brakes, and that proves the point.
Unbelievable under brakes of these cars. You push as hard as you can on that pedal, they stop. They've got so much stopping power, so much grip. They're awesome, and Alajage's really used that to his advantage. He's now moved up. He wants to chase down Stokel.
We've seen Dale Wood in the Fujitsu V8 Supercar Series and also in the main game. He works at Kelly Racing down in Melbourne, but is relishing this chance to get back behind the wheel. And look at Stokel, the leader isn't off the road, he's spun.
What is that all about?
That's weird.
He's had a bit of a moment there and obviously run off himself, so Alajage's gone from third and now he's leading the race.
Is this the race that nobody wants to win? Everyone's tried throwing it away, and look at Wood closing up through the centre chicane, and Alajage knows what's coming next. Pulls another gear, this is turn 8.
Absolutely flat through there, Aaron, in one of these minis. This is exciting stuff. Wood's got really 2 opportunities, and he's not going to make it on that one.
And look at Stokel, he's been able to close some of that ground back. Alajage goes a bit deep. Wood smells a chance, but he's on the wrong side.
It's great racing. We haven't seen this racing in Mini for a while, and it's good to see these young guys fighting it out. Alajage under pressure. Can Wood get through?
The first race of the season is on the line. The man who was the runner-up in the championship last year is up against a category debutant. This is the last chance, but Dale Wood can't get it done. So the checkered flag is waiting for race 1 in the Hertz Mini Challenge, and Chris Alajage will get 1 on the board, and not by much, only 0.3 of a second the margin.
And Sean Carter's got over the top of Scott McLaughlin there as well, so, and McNiven come through in 6th.
Robbie Madison 7th, and despite a weight penalty, Alajage gets the win.
You know, our qualifying is as many points as our race, so you know, I'm trying to make the most of everything, and to get the jump with 50 kilos on board from qualifying, it made the job very difficult, and you know, one of the most hardest races I've ever competed in, I've got to say, you know, and for it to be in the minis, wow, you know, like what competition.
In race 2, the mini world was turned upside down as the top 10 cars from race 1 had to line up in reverse order.
Brendan Cook and Dean Canto go to the first chicane. Our leaders from race 1 have got to do all of the work in this one. Cook leads, but he gets it sideways, and not much.
Oh, they've all missed him. I think.
No, you spoke too soon, Bugs.
Woody, poor Woody, Dale Wood, he's ended up the innocent one in that incident. Cook's just lost the rear, probably cold tyres. Let's have a look. Yeah, just cold tyres.
Front-wheel drive car flicks the other way, away from the rest of the cars, but then Dale Wood gets right, and that was wrong.
I was disappointed for both those guys. Obviously, Brendan Cook in a position where he's leading the race, but the cold tyres have caught him out. You can see the shadows there. Not a lot of grip.
And unsighted. He pops out from behind the cars in front and has no time to react. Not Dale Wood's fault.
There's nothing worse, is there? You just hope you can get through it, but obviously not.